there comes a point in time when you say, we no longer want the car.
Well, it was no longer we wanted the car. I still wanted the car, but it was the fact that my husband got a job and our times conflicted with the one car.
You're like, we can't wait for this car to be finished. Right. We've got to get a second car right now.
Right.
So at this point, how much time had you spent working on the car?
Well, time working on the car in general, we had about 7 hours.
About 7 hours. You paid to have the car registered?
Yes.
I actually went to the DMV and registered it, myself.
Do we have a receipt for the registration?
Yes.
She went to the DMV because it was $400 cheaper than if she just went to AAA. So, she tried to save cost on that.
$999.
We didn't know that it was out of registration when we bought it a few years.
So when the plaintiffs tell you that they no longer want to go forward with the deal, out of their $8,000 that they paid you, how much do you return?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah. Bobby was the one that had called and talked to us about it, saying, that they no longer wanted the car. And we had a mutual agreement that we had spent some money on parts that weren't returnable, so the $5,000 was fair to be returned.
So when they say to you, we're going to give you back $5,000.
Well, they didn't say that till after I got the $5,000, and she gave me a receipt for $5,000 returned to me. And as I went to him, he was working on a car, and I says, when can I expect the other $3,000?
And what did he say?
He said, well, I had to put money into it and my time. And I said, I'm gonna let Diane handle this because she's the one that originally made the deal with him.
So then Diane comes back.
And I went home
picture.
and I told her, he only gave me $5,000 out of the 8 because he said he put time into it and he thinks he deserves $3,000. She's like, oh, no way.
So Diane said, no, you don't. But you actually had a different spin on it. What you said to the defendant is that give me back the parts that you paid for and I'll send them back to get the rest of my money. Is that accurate, Diane?
I said something to that on terms. I mean, if you don't want to give me the whole $3,000 back, well, give me the money that I spent on the parts and I'll return them. But in exchange for that, I had offered them, I said, I appreciate all the time and effort that you put into the car. I'm willing to give you guys $1,000 or $1,500, for your time and all that you did for the car.
Aside from their 7 hours of time, they spent $1,000 to register this vehicle so you could drive it.
The car wasn't completely registered. When they registered, they had another 9 sticker on it pending a recall at the dealership.
Now, she wanted to return the parts. Would that have required you to disassemble the car?
Well, I'd already installed the exhaust and everything, and you have to weld it in, so yeah, you can't really cut it off and return it.
So your position, Ms. Wiggins, is that they should take the car apart. It is. You were saying that these people are entitled to $1,500? Yes. You paid $8. They give you back $5. I don't even know about the other parts. I'd like to see some evidence of what you spent out of pocket, but they also spent 7 hours of time. So are they really required to recalibrate and reorder their whole lives and everything that they did and the investment that they made into this vehicle for your benefit simply because your plans changed?
No, I'm not saying that. But if you look on here, it didn't require him to weld anything or anything like that. He told me it was going to cost $150 just to put the equipment on there.
So now are you suggesting that he's been dishonest with you about the work? Because you did say that in one of your text messages. You said, I need to see receipts for all of these parts because I don't think they cost all of that. Do you think that they were being unfair?
No, I'm not saying any of that. I mean, I appreciated everything he did for me, and I told him that. I don't feel like he should do any of this and not deserve anything from it because I feel he should be paid for his time and his services.
All right, no, Judge Domingo?
Okay, so why did you purchase this vehicle in the first instance?
To sell it.
Would you have had to get the car registered under any circumstances? No, you could have sold the car to another party without the registration.
Correct.
The reason you got the registration here was as a means of helping them?
Just to make it more convenient and make it easier.
Okay.
His mom's friend.
Yeah, it's
so
mom's friend.
you really want this car, you agree with them to buy it, and then who breaches the contract?
We did.
You did.
We did,
yeah. You did. So at that point, you're the one with the problem. They have a car that they're working on, they're fixing, they relied on your representation that you were going to take this vehicle from them. They buy parts, even if they pay more than what you think the part's worth. They have a business to run. You're not like their sister. They have a business, so they want to make some money. So now you breach their contract. Maybe they could have sued you for breach for the balance of everything. You would have owed them money.
It was at one point where she was trying to make it right with us. She gave his mother $1,000 to give to us, which we never got because she went to casino and spent it.
What can I tell you? That's his mother that did that, not them.
They're your mom under the bus.
So now, yeah, in a heartbeat.